Hello and welcome to the Shamans Cave. I'm Renee and Baribeau.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sandra Ingerman, and welcome, everyone.
Well, we have a great topic today, and since this one was Sandra's idea, let's find out what she wants to share because it sounds really intriguing to me.
Well, you know that show after show after show, I've been saying that I'm doing less, taking the summer off to just rest, number one, from teaching way too much. But, we need silence in order to be inspired and to get new ideas and reflections and to let our soul and our intuition start to guide us forward. And we're in such a challenging time right now. So, yes, we need everything possible to guide us forward. And what I find is that when we're so busy on the computer and we're so busy trying to stay busy and running away from life, we end up running away from ourselves and we miss a lot of things. And so this is a long introduction to just how I got to my topic is that I had the space to, look out at the trees and be outside and just be open. I wasn't trying to think of anything. I wasn't asking for a topic. I don't want to disappoint Renee. I wasn't doing anything like that. And all of a sudden, I got this message, you too talk about cycles of nature constantly. The wind, and we love the wind. And every show we talk about cycles of nature and we bring people to the ocean and we talk about the tides and the cycles and how the moon affects. But we have never brought up the undertow, and the undertow. I don't even know what to say. I've been in the undertow, so I know what it feels like. I don't know why the spirit said speak about the undertow, but I think that we might be in an undertow cycle right now, and we don't even know it. So I really want to hear from Renee. I just want to say, from my experience with the undertow, because I've talked about my drowning experience in Mazatlan, Mexico. When I was about 19, I got stuck in the undertow. But my lessons, because anybody who knows about the undertow knows that most people die. And my big lesson that brought me to the most beautiful near-death experience and popped me out where people brought me back to life was surrender to the undertow. So I'm happy to talk more about it, but really want to hear what Renee has to say, her wisdom on this.
Well, it's funny as soon as you said the undertow, my mind quickly jumped back to when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old at Mesquamacut Beach over in the New England area. That the undertow grabbed me, and the undertow is a grabbing kind of a thing if you've ever been taken by it, and it like. I spun like what I would imagine it felt like to be in a wash machine. Although one time I did get in the dryer when I was playing with some friends from high school, and I got that spinning, but I was a little too heavy, so it didn't go as fast as the undertow. But that in that moment of being spun out like a damp towel, it's like an agitation that like when you said it, I could still remember it today. I mean, I know when I came up from it, everyone's on the beach all worried and stuff like that. And I didn't go all the way to the drowning motion, but I could still feel it in my body today when you were talking about it. So I think that if we really did a somatic type of inspection of our bodies, we'd find out, oh yeah, I've been where I felt like the ringer just put me right through there. But we just move on so quickly from it that we don't even go back and think about it at all.
Yeah, it's like I don't really know how to describe it for some of you who haven't felt it, but it's like somebody tied ropes on your legs and just pulled you. I mean, pulled you really fast, you know, and all of a sudden you're trapped. You have no control. You can imagine a magnet. All of a sudden you're on this magnet and the magnet is now controlling you. You have no control of yourself. And so I'm not, as I said, I'm not exactly sure, Renee, why the spirits gave me this topic, but as I wanted to bring it to Renee and talk to Renee about it, because the cycle that we're in right now, you know, where we got so busy trying to get done with the COVID so we could get on with our lives. You know, we did what modern Westerners do, you know, but are we doing the feminine? Are we bringing in the feminine aspect of this, of patience and of right timing? Because if you don't have patience and you don't have right timing and you run into the ocean when there's the undertow, you get taken down. And that's what's happening to people right now is people haven't had patience. One of them, I went away. People haven't had patience. They're running back into life again. We all want to get back into our normal life. We all want to feel normal again. And we want to feel a sense of support. But I'm afraid that we're actually moving collectively into an undertow where we're going to get grabbed because we continue to not pay attention to what are the ultimate messages that the universe, it's like, I feel like with everything in my life, it's not just the COVID and what's happening collectively. I feel like the universe is treating me like a little kid. If I do something that is going to hurt me, not wrong to the universe, it's like they send me to my room with something that I can't get up with until I reflect on what I've done and realize that you know, I have to change my way of life. And have we done that? Have we really, as a whole global community, said we have to stop and we have to do this? And that's going to be an organic process, I think. I don't think we can just all say none of us are ever going to do this again. Not one person is going to get on an airplane again. I don't think we can do that. But I do believe if we don't start getting the personal messages for ourselves, forget about the collective. If you're drowning, you got to save yourself. Have compassion for the collective, but don't try to save the collective. But if the undertow is starting to grab at you because you have been not listening and not reflecting and not really paying attention or staying present, you might find yourself being pulled. But what saved me was, and I've shared this story, my friend saying, Sandy, whatever happens next, don't panic. And so I kept on hearing those words going over and over again in my head. And I didn't panic and I surrendered and I went to a beautiful place and here I am. And so the undertow is a dangerous place. It can bring you to your death or it can bring you to an amazing place of transformation.
And we always forget that the world goes on. The world has been around for 4 billion years plus, but humanity has had its moments when we haven't been here in quite in the numbers that we are, so that, the earth knows how to survive that undertow, whereas, we're going to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and we're going to march forward when, we've got this conditional surrender always, I think it is, where, okay, I can stay home for a year. Well, this global virus capability is not going away. This new Delta strain is really showing us that viruses mutate and change. And, we, like with the gay men who learned to live with AIDS, whereas other people in other countries didn't learn that. And there's a lot of death and dying from that. We've learned in our country, well, you can learn to live with these things, but it does take a lot of change. And, and I'm using that age where, you have to work out and stay healthy and watch what you eat and watch, what you drink and certainly watch how you interact with other people. And so, are we learning those valuable lessons? Do we know who our neighbors are? I keep taking it back to last week. My friend's car didn't start when she was here at my house for a small gathering. I knew that I could walk 2 houses and borrow a battery charger. Now that might sound really silly, but I really believe this whole experience is begging for us to come back to our right size in the world. Like, we would just get on a plane and jet to the pyramid sites in Peru and the pyramid sites in Turkey and in Egypt, that was our birthright, was to just trample all over the world and decimate everyone's sacred sites. And trust me, I've been guilty of it. But I have to think a lot more consciously about, okay, how do I want to respond going forward? There's a nice retreat in the woods of Maine with just a few people. Oh, yeah, I remember those times. We got so full of ourselves.
Right. Yeah, I feel the same way. I have been putting in my monthly transmutation news, and I hope, it's free. I hope that you go to sandraingerman.com and check out
Our new website.
Haven't missed a month since 2000. Actually 1998, but 1998 and 1999 are not on the site anymore. And it's just amazing, the information, that has really come through. And it always, when I look at the different themes that have come up in the 20 years, community always seems to come back. And for me, I'm grieving because I made a choice to move into doing online teaching, and to cut back on my physical workshops. And I made a choice to do that because I could reach more people. And I've been teaching for 40 years, and it was just a natural evolution. It wasn't anything to think about. It just happened. But I lost my community in the midst of that, because even if my workshops, I always, all my workshops, I stopped at 75 people, beginning 30 people, then 50, then 75. I find that I can create a bonded circle where people don't move into cliques, but can feel family with that many people. And the joy that has pulsed, I mean, the nightmares of, I can't even tell you. I mean, all my illnesses that I'm dealing with, I'm sure, from all the nightmares that I just buried inside of myself. But what my unconscious or my conscious chooses to remember is the joy, the constant laughing, the crying together when something happened in somebody's life the coming together and creating miracle healings, doctors saying you have 2 weeks to live and person's still alive today. But that was because of the strength of the community that we formed. And I'm desperate to get back to that. I mean, really desperate. I really miss that. I've loved being able to share knowledge on Zoom and to help people, especially during these times. And I will continue to do that, but in balance with teaching physically, because the small communities really do feed us. And where I live, we don't really know neighbors. The neighbors have chosen to be hermits and have their own life. And so when something happens and you want to call on neighbors, like you just got the opportunity to do, Renee, you feel, God, I'm 68 years old. I'm getting older. The world is getting more troubled. And where is my community? I gave up. I, danced away to go in other directions. And it's interesting. We all have to think about that.
Yeah, that could be the undertow of the internet is, how it affects the interpersonal relationships of people in communities. And even like when you look at the young people who are playing video games and they're like, my friend was telling me, oh yeah, he wants to go over to his dad's house, even though the dad was away, because he's got his headphones on and he's got his friends through, these gaming apps. It's like these relationships that are really the underbelly of what it is to sit face to face around a fire, but they're relationships nonetheless, but they certainly don't look like the effervescence you felt sitting around and really crying with somebody and laughing with somebody and all of that. In the wind workshops, we always start out by laughing. I take everyone off their mute and everyone laughs together. And it really breaks, the sense of that I'm over here and I'm over there. And, some people won't undo it, but I unmute them all.
You cannot have control issues and study with Renee.
No, well, you could, but you usually don't last too long. Either that, or you really learn to come face to face with those issues, because certainly, and maybe that's why they want us to talk about it. Because I know both you and I could go for the undertow of any situation.
Absolutely.
Because we've walked it. We've been spun around by the undertow, and come out to talk about it.
Right. Yeah, and you relax in the undertow.
Well, if you don't, you're fighting against nature, and let me tell you, whenever you fight against nature, you lose.
Right. And I think that it's important for us to look at this on a personal and collective level. And as Renee was saying, what are you trapped in? Old habits or control issues? Because there's nothing like the undertow to break up your control. You have no control in the undertow. Are we collectively in the undertow right now? I don't know about you, but I'm getting lots of correspondence. And for myself, I've been in the dryer spinning for quite a while now, wondering when somebody's going to push that stop button and let me out.
Did you have pillows in there? Like when I was a kid, we put me in there with pillows, and then someone's mother came home right in the middle of it. It's like, we would put people in the dryer and spin. We were dangerous in our neighborhood.
I know, we used to do things like that. I mean, that's the thing about neighborhood, kids. We get those stove boxes when the stoves were delivered or the refrigerators were delivered, and we would get in them and you ride down the driveway in a box, just going over and over again. I mean, as kids, we were trying to create an undertow experience.
That's right,
we were
right.
getting in a box, one by one, in a big giant refrigerator box. We were little kids finding the highest driveway. Somebody would push us in the box, and we would just roll down to the bottom and hit the garage door or hit the concrete.
That's so funny.
But that is the undertow. I mean, that really is the undertow where you're taken. And so what a valuable thing to look at. Where are you so standing so strongly, and you're so opinionated, and you're so, this is what's happening, and this is what's going to happen, and governments are lying to us, governments aren't lying to us, this is what's going on. We're stamping our feet in the ground, and we're standing up tall, and we're saying, I am not shifting, this is my belief, and this is what's happening. And in the meantime, I see the undertow comes under the waves, and it's creeping towards us, and we're not paying attention because we're so we've made a decision in our ego of what's going to happen, and a lot of that is coming out of fear. A lot of that is coming out of misinformation. A lot of that is coming out of just not understanding the process of evolution and nature's cycles.
I was thinking back the other day, I went on to several banking institutions, and they were all down. And then other people said, well, was Amazon down and Home Depot down for them? But, we think that we've got this fluffed up world, and, they came back up. But, it's like, okay, this is the undertow of everything we've created up in the, the ethers, is that it's all built on fluff. Right. I can go out and stand on my earth and out in the yard, and it's not built on fluff. So, like, you just kind of like, if you want to be looking at your undertow things, just like if that rug was pulled out from underneath you and you were spinning, what would be solid enough for you to land on? I think that's a pretty good question.
Yeah, and are you paying attention to the cycle of nature that you're in? Mm-hmm. Are you stamping your feet and telling nature, this is what I want and I'm not willing to compromise? Are you saying the same thing to the spirits? Are you saying the same thing to God? This is what I want. This is going to be the next step. This is what's happening next. That sets you up. That sets all of us up, especially in this time, because we're in such a time of change that I'm finding, I don't know about you, Renee, but I'm finding in the last month that my intentions are manifesting like that.
Oh, yeah, that's been going on for quite a while. And your karma, too. Yeah. You do something, that you weren't so happy about, it smacks you in the butt faster than you can, shake a stick at it. Yeah.
So it's a time where we're really being asked to look at quite a lot. And it's a rich time, and it's the time that you've been preparing for. Mm-hmm. And it's not a time to fear, because the spirit doesn't fear the undertow. The undertow brings us to God. Right. But so spirit doesn't fear it, but the ego does. And so the ego fights. And so what do you need to surrender to? What do you not have control over right now? What we have places in our life where we're asked to take control. We're being too passive. That's not what we're talking about here. This is conversation about we're being fixed. We're being we're so scared about what's coming, or our warriors coming out, and we want to see how we can fight. And are we being in that feminine being position, staying present, listening, and following the energy and following where the energy is taking us? just reflect on that. Take some time to reflect on that.
And if you would you put it in the comments? Like, what have you surrendered, and what was the gift of the surrender? Like, I always say this or something better. So if I give up something, and it used to be bargaining, but I don't bargain anymore. Like, oh, one time I beat my hands on the steering wheel. God, why have you forsaken me? Or trading dreams. And I just laugh at myself now. But so what I would like to say is, like, put it in the comments. I go through all of the YouTube comments, and we get a lot of them, and I respond to almost most of them, and I try to respond to them all, but they might come later. So if I missed you, just highlight our name and I'll find it. And also in our Facebook group, we get a lot of questions about a lot of things, but I would like some conversation about, what are you surrendering to? What was the gift of it?
Yeah. And I have gone off of Facebook for the summer pretty much, just to let everybody know it's not that I don't love you. I've had to step into a role of loving myself, and loving myself meant getting off of Facebook for a while. So I do love you. And just see a like from Sandra. If your post got on our wall or our YouTube page, see a like from Sandra, and I love you. And I'll be back on. I think we all just need rests from. It's just unbelievable what is going on energetically. I'm being more affected. People send me. It's unbelievable how much people send me to protect myself from EMFs. I can actually open up a whole mall of and EMFs are not my issue. They're not my issue. They're not what's affecting my health. It's all that energy we're sending each other, and the collective that we're living in, and the toxicity and the noise level. That's what that for me. It's not for you. I happen to be a lone wolf living on a planet with a lot of people right now. And it's hard for me to get quiet, and my body has to have quiet or I get quite ill. And so I don't want to go under the undertow again. And so I went off Facebook. What do you need to do to make sure that you're not going to go under the undertow?
That's awesome. Well, and next week we're going to do another journey, I believe, that Sandra said she was going to do. And, stick with us. Follow us over at shamanstv.com, and make sure you sign up for your mailing list. And when we drop a new episode, you'll always be first to know. And the Shamans Cave group, and Facebook is rolling out some podcast page. And I'm not sure if it's going to be on Shamans TV, which I've now called the Shamans Cave podcast. But follow us around, and you'll be with us. So you don't want to miss an episode, because we're here for you, and we're here for this undertow.
That's right. We know how to get through the undertow. So blessings, everyone, and really take care of yourself right now. Don't move into a place of fear. Your spirit, your unconscious knows exactly what's going on. Find some time for quiet. Put on some nice music without words. Listen to yourself. Listen to how much love you have for yourself. And listen to the belief that you have in your inner strength, that you can get through this time, and that it's just a time of change, and it's a time of reflection. And take your time with it. Don't rush it. Evolution is a slow process. So blessings, everyone.
Thank you.